Okay, how about packing your husband at 35? Now this is a dilemma for the females. At 35, no boyfriend, no prospects. Males don't want to admit they also have a problem at 35. My cousin turned 35. She has been battling a horrible disease for the last 24 months. Divorce. Now that she has been in remission for several months, she's been looking forward to doing what she loves, dating on the side. Now, this is the reason she contracted the disease in the first place, but fortunately, the new vaccine worked and she can start living a normal life. Now, dating on the side is a sport that requires a lot of skills. Now, good skills are developed when you are young, usually, in your teenage years, but it's an amateur sport until you get married. Then most players don't pick it up unless they get contracted with the divorce disease. And then they make it a life commitment and become pro players. Now, even as a pro player, dating on the side has many challenges. Age is important. If you are under the age of 30, well, you probably don't have to worry about it because probably many of your friends are still single and still going out to the singles bars. But you are over 30 and reaching the 35 mark, you are going to have to practice, practice, practice. So let's narrow it down some of the skills required at 35. First and most important, you're going to need to purchase the uniform. As any other sport, without the proper clothing, you are not going to be able to join any team. Now, the advantage here is that dating on the side has unique uniforms and no two are alike. So you need to avoid purchasing your uniform at places like Walmart or Target, and definitely not Marshalls. Your uniform has to be in the size 8 or under. Any uniform above 8 is going to require specialized training for you. Don't get fooled when your friends tell you how good you look. I'm sure they are married. Now, any specialized training will be discussed in another blog. Here we are going to concentrate on those who manage to fit in anything smaller than size 8. Now that you have the uniform, you need to find your team. And finding your team will not be easy. Your regular friends are married, and those that also contracted the disease like you are not probably on the size 8 or under. If you catch the disease because dating on the side, because you were doing the dating on the side while you were married, don't expect those connections that you had at that time crawling back to you. They're probably crawling all right, but while you were battling the disease, they're probably fine. They probably already found somebody on the size 4. Now, I know your friends tell you, go out, and you keep thinking to yourself, go out where? Your friends tell you to go and look at work. And you look around at work and you say, but everybody here is over 50. And they tell you that you need to meet somebody at church. And you remember that it was Jesus why you are where you are. Jesus Garcia has not been seen after your ex found him in your house. If you have the right uniform and the time to go out, scout the hormones at work and try to find Jesus at church again will be ahead of the game. However, if there is no luck in any of these places, the problem is you pack your husband way too late. Dating on the side may have been the reason you have a new uniform, but turning single at 35 is only going to get you a grandpa who is half blind and deaf. Men at 35 believe they are the cream of the crop. If they happen to become single at 35, they automatically start looking for anything that walks between 18 and 25. However, they fail to purchase a uniform. They believe that they will score no matter what they're wearing, whether it's the same, and usually, the same shirt they have been using for the last 5 days, combined probably with a t-shirt that says, "Women belong in the kitchen." Now, the only thing these men are going to catch or score is going to be probably a paid dancer in Cancun. Now, deaf and blind, those specimens that crawl out of McDonald's at 9 a.m. are looking for you. They are already retired, and any female under the age of 40 is a prime catch. Nice and young, well-dressed, a career woman that is not going to drain his social security check. Now, if you're 35 with a nice uniform looking for love, and he's looking for love with a nice uniform, he will call you honey and sweetie and lovely, and you keep calling him pops. You're looking for a nice 35 to 40-year-old with a sense of humor, good looking, with a nice white-collar job, preferably a lawyer who can appreciate a nice, sophisticated woman who managed to fit into a size 8. Okay, so today is Friday. You convince your best friend's daughter to go out with you to a new singles bar. It just opened up and everybody's just talking about it. Now, you're there, and across the bar there's a 30-something good-looking guys staring at the dance floor while you are hoping they stare at you. 30 minutes later, and no prospects, a tall, handsome gentleman leans over your table while he says the words, "Would you like to dance?" Of course, your eyes right away sparkle in disbelief. You smile, you reach for the, the smile is kind of from cheek to cheek. And while you're starting to adjust your blouse, you hear the words, "Yes, I would like to dance." And your friend's daughter stands up and goes to the dance floor. Now you're left alone at the table, and then your mind starts to wonder, what's wrong with me? This gentleman rather rock the cradle than meet someone closer to his age that can hold a conversation about politics. Instead of talking and drinking and bar hopping on a school night, he could be learning about interesting things like knitting and the great Christmas stockings I made for my nieces. So anyway, 10 dances later, your head is pounding from all the knock on the floor. You're tired, you already had 2 drinks, and your friend Catherine is still pounding the dance floor. Finally, you call her on the side and tell her it's time to go. She gives you a big smile while she's holding Peter's hand, and she replies, "Go ahead, I'll take an Uber." You say goodbye a little disappointed. It is almost 10 o'clock. About 3 months later, with no boyfriends and no prospects, you wonder if there are any men out there for you. At this point, you move on to plan B, Match.com. First thing you do, you lie about your age. You post a photo of yourself when you were 20, and you put under interest, traveling the world, sipping wine under the fireplace, going to concerts and watching sports. Under the man you're looking for, 35 to 40, good sense of humor, single, no drugs, good job, loves children. Okay, so 4 months later, what happens? You finally realize Match.com. It's been 20 dates and nothing happened, so you change your profile. Looking for someone who can appreciate me for who I am. Hobbies? Knitting. Interests? Going to Little League. Looking for a man who can treat me like a lady. And then, a week later, you are on a date with this very handsome man, He loves your children. He invites you to go to the park. He says, "How lovely you look today, honey." And you say, "Thank you, Pops." This is Xavier with packingfortravel.net. Thank you.